Aren't I? How did that happen? It's there we go. We're back. Backstreet's back. I look like an idiot, don't I? It's okay. It's live YouTube. Anyway, guys, welcome back to the realest review show out there. Thank you, everyone in the chat. I know. Hopefully, I'm not muted now, but we're going to be reviewing the April 10th edition of AEW Dynamite, and it's definitely one that people are going to be talking about for a long time, or at least until the next CM Punk / WrestleGoss things happens. Guys, there's so much to talk about here. Be sure, if you haven't already done so, to subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that jazz. If you want to guarantee your questions read out or answered on the air, be sure to leave a super chat. And, of course, if you want access to all the wonderful exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/Real Take Wrestling. All right, so I did a video kind of breaking down the incident itself and what was shown. There obviously is, another incident people are talking about between Punk and Tony Khan that did not get aired tonight, but we did get the Jack Perry CM Punk part of that, and I'll get into what I thought, briefly in just a second, but I'll say this. And I said this in my video on the channel earlier. For those who were expecting, the Zapruder film that would prove that CM Punk, for those who were expecting the Zapruder film, like the bullet, or what's it called, the smoking gun, that shows that, CM Punk, he was not only the aggressor, he did something that was unimaginable. You are going to come into tonight disappointed. Whether you liked AEW, whether you like CM Punk, whether you want to take sides in this weird tribal thing that's going on, no matter what, I think people were going to be disappointed. And I think on the elite slash AEW tribalist side, there's going to be a lot of, oh man, this proves that CM Punk was dead wrong and he was the aggressor and all this stuff. And stuff that we already know. We already knew that. Punk admitted to it, though he did kind of paint himself to be more of a protagonist in all of that. Whether or not you agree with that characterization, Punk didn't necessarily lie about what happened in that fight. Did he leave out details? Sure. Did he leave out the fact that he said that he didn't hit anyone. He did swing at Jack Perry and he did punch him a few times. That was obvious through the film that we watched on Dynamite tonight. But I don't think that this segment, that this was the own that many people wanted it to be, or many people anticipated it to be, or many people thought it would be. I think it was just a confirmation of facts we already knew. That backstage there was an altercation between these two and that CM Punk was the aggressor. We already knew this. And I think in a weird way, AEW tried to fit this into a storyline, right? And in a weird way, they almost shot themselves in the foot because the promo that Matt and Nick cut and the promo that FTR cut were really good promos. And I feel like had they not shown the footage, because the footage had been built up in people's minds to be this amazing, huge thing, this almost mythical thing. Like, it's the same way that the All Out fight from 2022 was. It has been built up to be this almost mythical thing that no matter what the actual footage looked like, it was going to disappoint. It was going to disappoint people who wanted Punk to be, this insane aggressor who was fighting people backstage. It was going to disappoint people who wanted Punk to be vindicated in some way. It was going to disappoint people who believed that, we already knew what had happened. I don't think that this helped. And in my view, if they had taken out the actual footage itself, this would have been a banger segment. Because by alluding to it and not showing it, you are getting your message across more clear because that is the focus. People aren't focusing on this footage that was going to underwhelm. People aren't focusing on this footage that, you're getting a negative response for right now. People instead would have been focusing on, oh my God, can you believe Matthew and Nicholas said that, or Matt and Nick said that? And then the FTR responded, and you could have played that dichotomy of fans and what they've been saying online and all that kind of stuff, and play into the tribalism a little bit, right? Because that is not bad business, right? There's like a genuine story there to tell, and it's not bad business. However, by showing that footage, you almost took the entire substance away from what Matt, Nick, and Dax and Cash had said. Because no one's talking about that. No one's talking about their promos. No one's talking about their match. Everyone's just talking about Punk. We are sitting here. Punk has been out of the company since August, and we're still sitting here talking about CM Punk. Some of it a lot of it not by AEW's design, but this totally because of them. And I understand that the thinking here, right? The thinking here was, well, if we were to show the footage and promise the footage and all that kind of stuff, we could potentially, one, work this into an angle, which they tried to do. And number two, we could try to make Punk look bad and respond to the shots that WWE took. When in reality, by responding in those promos, you did a great job. And we'll talk about this in a second, but look at the promo Will Ospreay cut, or watch the promo Will Ospreay cut tonight. That is how you respond to BS talking points, like Will Ospreay doesn't want the grind. He responded to it in the perfect way. To me, The footage itself was a sideshow, and it took away from an otherwise spectacular episode of Dynamite. You had the build-up and an evolution in the feud between Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe. You had Mercedes Moné with this, kind of whodunit angle, even though we probably know it was like Julia Hart or something. We have, Dustin Rhodes going out there, cutting promos of his life, having a great match and main event with Samoa Joe. The same week, his brother wins the big one. There was so much good that happened on this show that is completely overshadowed by this one thing that people can't let go of. And I'm talking about fans, I'm talking about companies, I'm talking about Punk himself, I'm talking about AEW, everyone. No one can let go of this stupid thing that just did not work. And it's okay that it didn't. It's okay that Punk in AEW didn't work out. Should he have taken those shots against AEW? No. And I'm sure if there was a non-disparagement agreement, Punk broke that last week, obviously. Very clearly. But the fact that we're still sitting here talking about CM Punk, he's AEW, he's the villain. I just don't know what, it sucks because I genuinely think the promos were good. I think the story they were trying to tell here was good. But man, what do we do? Whatever. I don't know. I mean, like I said, so much happened on the show that I cannot believe that it took away from it. TD in the chat says, couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, and I'm not asking for people to agree with me. I'm sharing my perspective. Jermaine in the chat said, not gonna lie, Ospreay was wild to tell Triple H grind on that. Yeah, I mean, it was wild, but hey, is what it is. Jermaine saying, what do you mean? Chris Statlander attacked Mercedes and Dustin should beat the Briscoe at some point. That could be cool. That was stupid. The footage was, man. Showing it was. We got Eric Douglas in the chat saying, okay, hear me out. I don't know if you watch baseball. I do. But AEW right now feels like the Chicago White Sox. A lot of talent, but the boys club ruined it. From what has been reported, again, this was a Tony Khan decision. And Tony Khan reportedly felt like this was the best way to respond to all of that, to respond to the allegations, to respond to Punk's interview and everything. I think the promos would have been enough. I think Will Ospreay's promo would have been enough, and it wouldn't have distracted so much. But at the same time, the main reason that, in my view, and what I can estimate and guesstimate or predict, whatever, the main reason that they went this route was because they knew that if they did, many people would tune in. And many people, I assured you, tuned in. I'm sure that I can guarantee you this. The number for tonight's Dynamite will be much bigger than the number for last week's Dynamite. Significantly. But what about next week? How many people tuned in to this and came out of it with, oh, Swerve looks great? How many people tuned into this show and said, oh my God, I can't wait to find out who attacked Mercedes? How many people tuned into this and said, oh man, Okada and Pac, I can't wait? How many people tuned into this who did not tune in last week, who are going to buy your pay-per-view? For me, as someone who likes to analyze wrestling as a hobby, I'm just like, I don't think that it's going to have that much of an impact. And again, took away from an otherwise great show. Like, look at what's happening. Look at what everyone's talking about online. Look at what everyone's talking about like in their group chats. Like I'm in a few group chats. No one is talking about, like other stuff that's going on. No one's talking about that stuff. But anyway, again, responding to stupid stuff in group chats. TD saying AEW can't get out of their own way. In this respect, yeah. They couldn't. Because it's so frustrating. Because this was a bang. I don't know how many times I have to say it. This was a banger show. like I love this show. If you take away, if you literally take the footage out of the show, this was an amazing show. Better than Raw. Much better than Raw. Much better than last week's SmackDown. In my view. Because it had wrestling. It had promos. You're building up a pay-per-view. It had aspects of reality kind of put in there in the best way. Charles in the chat, echoing the sentiments. Ospreay nailed his promo. You're damn right he did. We'll talk about that promo specifically in just a second. By the way, guys, be sure to smash that like button if you haven't already done so as many people as possible see this stream. But yeah, man, I just I can't. And again, probably a good thing for business from a week-to-week rating standpoint. I'm not sure if they're going to crack 1 million, but they're definitely going to crack 800. They're probably going to crack 850. Hell, they'll probably crack 900. But to me, what you were telling, and like, not everyone, and we have to like also contextualize this, right? For those who like follow the online conversations a lot, this matters way more. There are many people, and I would say probably the majority of people who watch Dynamite on a week-to-week basis aren't online. Many of them are, and I think many of the people who buy the pay-per-views probably are. But, like the people, especially on Twitter, like people I think over-index the amount of look really what it means to get like Twitter hate and all that kind of stuff, because a lot of times it's just people in echo chambers and it's not that many people compared to like the overall population. But especially Twitter is like not one of the highest, used platforms either by most people. But but those people who are on there, that's all they're talking about. And then there are some people who I'm sure watch that and we're like kind of confused, like, is this real? What's going on? And yet we're here, and again, no one's talking about the other stuff that happened on the show. No one's talking about Willow, and no one's talking about Adam Copeland and Penta having a banger to open up this show. We got TD in the chat saying, I think I missed something. What brought on that Ospreay? Oh, what brought that on Ospreay? So, yeah, let's talk about the Ospreay thing real quick. So last week on the Pat McAfee show, and part of the reason why I think AEW felt the need here to push back as aggressively as they did tonight were some shots that were taken against AEW on the Pat McAfee show when Triple H was there. Basically, Triple H stated that he was talking about like in the context of like free agents and things like that, and like what he looks for in talent. And he said that something to the effect, and I made a video about this in the archives. It's like from a few days ago. So if you want the full context, be sure to go check that out, TD. But essentially, Triple H said that if, for like all these free agents, if you're someone who, doesn't like the grind of this, if you're someone who wants to work one day a week, stay at home, all that kind of stuff, then this isn't for you and I don't want you. That is the takeaway there. And it was implied that it was Will Ospreay because that was someone that WWE had interest in, and with WWE schedule, like that's what it is. And to me, I read that as like, man, you're really discouraging like some people from joining your company, mate. Like, because not only are you taking a shot at Ospreay, but like you're also like calling him out because he'd rather, spend time with his family, which is crazy because that's his priority, right? On also like to claim that talent like Will Ospreay or Mercedes Moné or Kazuchika Okada are not about quote the grind. To claim that is, in my view, just like wild. Ospreay is someone who before he came to AEW was flying, whatever it was, like a 13-hour flight or whatever from England to Japan to go compete. Who during the COVID-19 pandemic would go to Japan in a hotel and stay in a hotel room for 2 weeks just so he could compete for like a show and then quarantine again and head back and then quarantine when he got back. Like the lengths that he went through, the grind that he went through for people to call that out and then say, oh, he's not about that grind. That's nuts. That is nuts and like disingenuous and a BS talking point because you like to claim that, you want these free agents, but you're going to push people away like that. Not everyone's dream. Like that's the other thing too. Not everyone's dream is to wrestle in WWE. A lot of people's dreams are, I would say the majority of people when they were growing up, of course they wanted to wrestle in WWE because that was the one product that was around. But dreams change. Dreams evolve. Passions change. Some people like wrestling. I'm not saying WWE isn't wrestling, but some people also want to have that work-life balance. Some people want to be there to have matches and tell great matches and stories through matches, which is more prevalent in AEW than it is in WWE, in my view. You got Charles saying, I think cliffhangers displayed on tonight's show were mostly for new viewers to be on the hook for next week. It is, okay, I agree with you. I think that is the strategy. I just don't know how successful it would be. Because I think even to the new viewers who are not as in tune with the product, I believe that like they're just like they're just not that interested. We got SJ saying that's cap. I'm sorry. What is that referring to? I mean, it could be cap for you. It's my opinion. Whatever it is. Unless you're I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about in that respect, but yeah. TD says blame Ariel. I mean, Ariel barely asked the question about it. Like, if we're being honest, like, I don't think you can blame Ariel Helwani. Like, Ariel barely asked the question. Punk just like said, I knew I was going to be asked about it, and I don't want to say anything about it, and then proceeded to say everything. Like, so, I mean, of all the people, of all the people who in this who like sharing the blame, Ariel Helwani barely asked the question because he was even like, like if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, no. Shout out to Ariel Helwani, man. The man getting absolute banger interviews from CM Punk for over a decade. Yeah. Ooh, this is interesting. Guys, if you haven't already done so, be sure to smack that like button. Smack that. Dude, on your Will Smith shit, smack that like button, everyone. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. I mean, the cliffhangers were interesting. I'll talk about those in just a second. But back to the Ospreay promo. So, Will Ospreay comes out, and he essentially, he responds to those allegations that he's not about that grind. And he calls out Triple H pretty explicitly. I'm going to try to pull up the exact quote because it was a banger of a promo. Let me just make sure I don't get his words wrong, because I do not want Will Ospreay coming after me with that heat. Oh, by the way, all of the people, again, I want to reiterate this because this was like a massive talking point from people who had no idea who Will Ospreay was. Like, I don't know if he can cut a promo, bro. Yeah, he can't cut a promo. Will, I'm on the internet. Like, people obviously just did not watch, and it's okay if you don't know. Like, there are things I don't know, but I don't talk about stuff I don't know. I talk about what I know. But I do know that Will Ospreay is a great promo. In that promo, he said, and I quote, that guy said that it is, oh my God, that guy that said it, the comments about the grind he was referring to, the guy who said it, the guy who said it is only in the position he's in because he was grinding on the boss's daughter. Obviously referring to one Jean-Paul Levesque, who is, of course, married to Triple H. Or, sorry, who is married to Triple H. He was married to Stephanie McMahon. Ospreay also cuts an impassioned promo about his match with Bryan Danielson and kind of resets things and says, like, this match, again, is to find out who is the best wrestler in the world. And I'll be honest with y'all. Dynasty is my WrestleMania. like WrestleMania was a fantastic pay-per-view. I think as far as like the ending of WrestleMania, like that is like top 2, top 3 all-time ending. Just because it was so many things. I like, for me, I don't think anything will beat X7's ending, even though the follow-up was ass, but I don't think anything will beat that. But that was an all-time ending. But for me, like, from what I want, and I like in professional wrestling, Ospreay versus Danielson, that is a main event level match on any card, on any WrestleMania, on any show. And especially these versions of these two wrestlers who have not gone against each other. And also Bryan's the best, so. We got Bomber Dom in the chat saying, it was even more cringe than I hope it would be. Damn, it was cringe. I agree with that. Yeah, matches were banger, as always, and Swerve hyped up more on the pay-per-view. The belt looked good on it. That belt is going to look amazing on Swerve after Dynasty. Low-key, Jay White deserves better. I know he's stepping in for juice, but he said in that promo with so much emphasis, IDK, call me crazy. That promo slapped. I mean, that promo was cool. It was a cool promo. Yeah, I mean, the weird thing with Jay White is because AEW was doing a bit of a Canada tour recently, he wasn't able to be on those shows live in the building or wrestle there because of things with his visa, right? Like, because he has, like, obviously the ability to wrestle in the US, but like in Canada it's a whole different game, and they weren't able, I guess, to get him clearance in time for that. That's why he's been doing a lot of these backstage kind of promos. But guys, it's a great time, if you haven't already done so, to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Also, be sure, if you want access to the best and brightest exclusive content in all of professional wrestling, be sure to become a member on Patreon. You can see my full unedited WrestleMania 40 vlog right now, at this moment, unedited, over on patreon.com/Real Take Wrestling. It was a fun time. I even got to meet, allegedly, Rikishi's son. Funny story about that. The edited and cut down version of the vlog will be available tomorrow for everyone on YouTube. But if you want the unedited version that has all the entrances and the music and all that kind of stuff, it is over on Patreon. So go check that out if you please. I also did a full reaction to Triple H's press conference. I also have hours of exclusive content, including watch-alongs, including, video essays that I did about the companies. So, yeah. Bruh, no one tells the truth, like not even CM Punk in his own head. Yeah? I mean, there's a lot of lies told around here. A lot of lies. Perry didn't seem to fight Punk in that footage. No. I mean, again, I go over the footage clearly. Like, for those of you who have seen it, right? It just looked like, look, we don't know what Jack Perry said, and I want to be clear about it. We don't know what Jack Perry said. However, based on the footage and even based off of Punk's own comments, it was clear Punk was the aggressor, and the footage confirmed it. That it looked like at least for a second that he lost his cool, and he just attacked Jack Perry. And in the video, you could see there's this one thing of Chris Hero. Chris Hero literally just walks off and goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe this!" He was just like, "Jesus, I can't believe this is happening." JS said, "I knew it. Punk hit first." Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was implied in what Punk said, but I feel like this is something that's kind of been, it's kind of been known. Oh my God. Kate from Fightful just put out a poll on her X. It's like, should AEW have released the footage? And the results are as followed. 22% say yeah. 30% say nah. 5% undecided. And 41% say yes, but for Drew McIntyre. Shout out to Kate. That's a funny poll. Yeah. Let's see. Has Tony Khan said anything about this? Let's see. Yeah, no, he is just plugging no, he's just plugging a show. Now we understand. Oh, here we go. We got Bomber Dom in the chat saying, now we finally understand Tony's hat to fear his life. I was always myself as Punk fan, shocked to my bones. Yeah, well, we didn't see that footage. I want to be clear about that. That footage was not seen. So we don't know whether or not that incident happened. We know there was something between those two, but we don't know. We haven't seen that footage. But I think it was it was a combination of that footage and this footage from the incident that led an independent committee that included Bryan Danielson, one of CM Punk's longtime friends, to come to the almost unanimous decision to fire him. And so, I mean, look, it is what it is. Are we going to get a New Japan? I can't review New Japan. I literally can't. Every time I've tried to, they've given me a copyright strike. I can't talk about New Japan on this channel. It's unfortunate. I wish I could. The only time I really get away with it is when I do it contextually, around Forbidden Door AEW stuff. But yeah, I just can't play with New Japan copyrights on my channel, So it's unfortunate. But yeah. Sean Rossett put up a poll saying, did any of that video change your mind on anything? 90% say no. So, man. It is what it is at this point, isn't it, fellas? It is what it is. What else we got? Why is Jack, who's new to the business, more professional than Punk? In this instant, I mean, look, I'm not going to say that what Jack did as far as going out and airing that stuff on the air or out in public was professional. But the story goes and the report goes that Punk's camp was the one that, leaked the original incident that happened at Collision. Jack Perry was upset about that. And he went out there and did the real glass line. And that was kind of a receipt in Jack Perry's eyes. And look, it is one of those, don't throw rocks at glass houses kind of thing or whatever, or stones at glass houses, because allegedly Hangman Page did the same thing to Punk. And what did Punk do? Came out on TV and gave him a receipt. It was okay when Punk did it, but when someone else does it, is what it is. I don't want anyone to do it because I think that stuff is kind of childish, but that's what happened. And again, Jack Perry was wrong for that. It was unprofessional as all hell. But fighting someone over that is even more unprofessional. It's taking that next step, right? It's okay, you think that the Young Bucks are talking crap about you to Meltzer, Alvarez, or whatever. is what it is, right? May or may not have happened. Dave says that it didn't, but who knows? But like then, going out there and burying the company in a press conference, and then, according to one side, being an aggressor in that brawl out fight. Level, like, it's like raising the temperature. Who's the person raising the temperature? And I think and perhaps we'll never know, but perhaps that was like the thing that kind of like led to the decision, or like was also factored into the decision to let go of Punk. That's my view. Again, I know nothing. I just know what's been reported, and I know we've seen in this footage, right? I know as much as y'all do. I can't wait to put this poll up. What did you think of hashtag AEW Dynamite tonight? Oh, this is going to be hilarious. Good. Bad. Meh. I got to put something funny. I'm going to put LOL. You know what? Full send. We're just going to go with LOL because that feels like an appropriate response. Jay Ash in the chat says, remember, words are just when Punk laid hands on Perry. That is true. And it's unprofessional, for sure. Charles says, if no one hold Punk, he might have swung a jab at TK too. That's bone chilling. I mean, we don't know. I don't want to. Again, that is I believe the report from Wrestling Observer was that he lunged at Tony Khan. That was the report, that he, quote, lunged at Tony Khan. Whether or not that happened or didn't, like, I am not trying to invalidate Tony's experience at all, because it's very well possible that did happen, but like, we don't know, right? If they ever release the footage of that, I mean, then we'll know. But yeah, we don't know, man. Crazy. Again, I just like, perfect show. Like, they had and that's what frustrates me, man. This was a perfect show, other than the footage, because everyone's, including myself, that's all you guys want to talk about, so that's what I'm talking about. But like, that's all everyone's talking about. It's just that damn footage. We're not talking about Swerve. We're not talking about nothing. Uh-oh. Is AEW going to hit me with that copyright strike? Let me be proactive about that before they do, actually. Actually, no, they can't hit me with a copyright strike. I didn't even use the video. Well, we're gonna take care of that, aren't we? Guys, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're gonna, we're gonna, I'm gonna play it safe here. Again, they shouldn't copyright strike, because again, I did not use footage, but like, let's sometimes people get sensitive. Let me not. Let me change up that thumbnail real quick, guys. Let me know what you guys are gonna talk about in the chat. Oh, fun, the fun life of being a YouTuber. We're doing it live, people. This is a fun time to be in the pro wrestling business. Oh, that's the wrong one. We're out here. All right. Whatever. We'll see. I might have to eat that one. Joe was quick. Joe was quick, wasn't he? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I'll have to eat that one, guys. If I do, honestly, it's not a bad one to eat. Anyway, man, oh man, guys, what else do you want to talk about? I'm kind of sick and tired of talking about this stuff. Young Bucks must win after all that. Yo, they better win. Honestly, if they don't win, ooh, it makes everyone look so bad. It makes everyone look so bad. Oh my God, guys, I can't. All right, let's talk about other stuff. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about Swerve. Let's talk about Swerve. So Samoa Joe and Dustin Rhodes were supposed to kick off AEW Dynamite tonight, having a world championship match. This comes after Dustin Rhodes cut an impassioned promo on Saturday night where, he challenged Joe. This was an eliminator match. If Dustin had won, then Samoa Joe would have to defend his title against Dustin in the future. Did not happen. But before, as Joe was coming out for his match, Swerve Strickland attacked Samoa Joe. This was a receipt for something that Joe had done last week when he attacked Swerve, left him bloody, battered, and bruised in the middle of the ring, to the point where Swerve had to sign his championship contract in his own blood. Honestly, one of the coolest segments that AEW has ever done, in my opinion. So Joe is getting his butt kicked. We get a table set up, and Joe goes through the table, speared by Swerve Strickland, knocked out seemingly, and Swerve gets the upper hand on Samoa Joe. Well, it was then announced, like, okay, Joe's cleared to wrestle tonight, but it's going to be in the main event, so that match would happen later on during the main event, which was an absolute banger. If you have not seen it, highly recommend y'all go check out the main event between Dustin Rhodes, the natural Dustin Rhodes, I should say, and the AEW World Champion Samoa Joe. Dustin Rhodes is just such a good in-ring storyteller, and he's that old school style wrestling that really has been missing in both WWE and AEW for a while. But yeah, it's crazy. Oof. Sorry. Just making sure my YouTube channel is still up. Oh gosh, people are still talking about this. This is controversial. We should all remember that we never know the full story. We don't know if Punk's actions were warranted. It's not up to us as fans to judge how well coworkers behave with each other. I mean, I see that point of view. Honestly, I see that point of view. Young Buck should be arrested. That's wild. I see that point of view though. Heart attack. Again, I mean, it's just something we're talking about. I think, like, for me, it's one of those things where I find it, like, hard to believe that, there's a situation that warrants you putting your hands on your coworkers, unless it's like something outrageous that we don't know about, which it does not seem to be the case. Even by Punk's recollection of things, I don't think his response was warranted. Because if it was worse, and if Jack Perry had said something to him that really set him off, I feel like Punk would have said it, right? Again, maybe he did, but we don't know. But totally hear your point of view though. Like that is, I mean, I don't disagree with it necessarily. Awesome to see Dustin hit a crossroads. Yeah, that crossroads was dope, man. Dustin Rhodes, again, one of the best storytellers there is in wrestling today. He was having an absolute banger of a match with Samoa Joe. After the match, Joe gets absolutely clattered by Swerve Strickland, and kind of, again, building on that, no matter what, no matter how much Samoa Joe feels safe, secure, and as a champion, that Swerve will always be there. And I love that, because they are preparing Swerve to be the next AEW World Champion. They are preparing him to be the face that runs the place, and putting that title right next to him and showing him with that title belt, it gets everyone more hyped up to see the eventual, the eventual moment when he does win. So, yep. Love that. I can't wait for that match, man. Like, which is why I'm so happy I'm going to Dynasty. I'm get to witness 2 epic moments, at least. Bare minimum. 2 epic moments. We get to see the first ever matchup between Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay. And then I also get to see live in living color, hopefully, Swerve Strickland winning the AEW World Championship for the first time in his career. It's amazing. And you also have Willow potentially winning her first ever championship. Well, if you don't want to count the Owen Hart Cup, her first ever championship in AEW. The Young Bucks versus FTR, which is always going to be a banger. Like, hold on, let me pull up this Dynasty card real quick, because we do have some bangers on this. But again, I'm just, why do we need to show this footage? All right, let me pull up Dynasty. Okay. So we have Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, banger. Julia Hart, Willow Nightingale, banger. Young Bucks versus FTR, banger. Timeless Tony Storm versus Thunder Rosa, banger. Kazuchika Okada versus the Bastard Pac, banger. Swerve versus Samoa Joe, banger. And then we have the trios match, Adam Cole, Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black. Going to be a cool match. That is 7 awesome, amazing, wicked matches on this card. Like, I'm getting my money's worth by going to the show. Still need to buy my tickets, though. I should do that. We're just over a week away from the show. I should probably buy my tickets. Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Oh, looks like X is popping off right now about this. Oh, yeah, we also got Hook. Hook is looking more and more like a star on the show. It's amazing what Jericho did despite everything said about him and does for the AEW roster. Yeah, so interesting dynamic here. The match was Hook, Shibata, and Chris Jericho teaming up against Shane Taylor and his crew. This was interesting because we saw beforehand, Chris Jericho laid out this master plan of what was going to happen. Jericho was going to come in there, beat up Shane Taylor, then, Hook was going to do something to Moriarty, and so on. Sorry, Shibata's going to come in and choke him out and finish him off. That was the plan. And Jericho came off as a very spiteful person. He came off as like that know-it-all kind of leader that no one really asked to be the leader. Shibata was kind of annoyed by it very obviously. And that's the story they're telling. I think they're telling the story of Chris Jericho taking Hook under his wing, even though Hook really doesn't want Jericho under his wing. Hook just wants to go out there, do great wrestling matches and, just win titles. That's what he wants in AEW, right? Or allegedly. And, the story of the match was they did not work well together. Hook and Jericho got into it on the outside, and Shibata ended up getting overwhelmed, and they lost the match. And Hook was not happy with Jericho. I assume that this is building up to a Hook versus Jericho match. One that I hope Jericho gets squashed in again, because I really want to see Hook go out there and be one of, if not the biggest star in AEW one day. And I think part of the way building him up is build him up to be a monster. Build him up to be an absolute monster. Man, AEW's pulling down accounts? Oof. Oof. There's some stuff going on. Anyway, I don't care, man. I just, you know what? Here's what it is. JS says, kind of know Jericho was going to swerve them. I mean, yeah, he is. And I think he's going to end up being Jericho will end up being the heel in all this. Like, he's already playing the heel pretty much, but Jericho will definitely end up being, like, you know, very, very he's gonna be a massive heel by the time this is over. Guys, if you haven't already done so, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We also had Mercedes Moné discussing her future in AEW, discussing the fact that she will be making her in-ring debut in AEW at Double or Nothing, which was which is the location, same building this year as the company's first ever event, Double or Nothing 2019, and she wants to be a part of that history now and that lineage. So that's when we're going to see her. Then the lights go out in the middle of her interview, and we wake up, and Mercedes Moné is on the floor and seemingly attacked by someone that we don't know. And I think this was part of the thing that I think Charles in the chat was talking about, which was, or someone in the chat I should say was talking about, which was leaving them on a cliffhanger and trying to keep those viewers for next week. Was it successful? We'll find out next week, but you know, I think it was a decent cliffhanger at best, or it was a decent cliffhanger, and I thought Mercedes promo was cool. Like it made it make a little more sense as to why exactly she was fighting at Double or Nothing and not at Dynasty, and why they're waiting so long for that match to happen. But yeah, we'll see. Also had Timeless Tony Storm's little protege, Mariah May, taking on Anna Jay. Fun match. I think Anna Jay is one of the more underrated people on the AEW roster. Like, she has been known to have banger matches, and she's really good at wrestling. Like, she's had some, like, herself and Ty Conti have been part of, like, some of the best, like, hardcore matches that company's had. So it was great to see her back in action here. And I love to see that. We got Charles saying, yeah, could get so many banger matches out of that, like Ogogo versus Jericho and All In. Oh, no, Anthony Ogogo. I love Anthony Ogogo, by the way. I think this is where Willow turns bad. See, I mean, I think someone said in the chat, like, Chris Statlander. I think Chris Statlander attacking Mercedes Moné would make a lot of sense. I think, like, she's trying to help Willow Nightingale. But in the end, Willow is probably going to be like, why'd you attack her? Like, why would you do that? And then they're going to cause a feud between them. I did it. Yo, can you imagine? Chris comes out there and is like, I did it for the Willow. I did it for the people. That would be hilarious. Oh, man. No, but I can't wait for this. Like, man. Thing, man, this roster is so stacked. The footage. It's all coming back. First match, pretty good. Backstage promo was weird afterwards. What was that backstage promo after that? Oh, you're talking about the Adam Copeland one where yeah, it was a bit weird. Stokely Hathaway, though, was not weird. Stokely Hathaway was a beautiful, beautiful man. Hey, Eddie, I know I said that stuff about you a few weeks ago. We good, bro? We good? Yo, when Willow said that I have an idea for next week, and he just takes the mic and says, yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen next week. Next week, Willow Nightingale, Adam Copeland, TNT Championship on the line. You ready, Adam? And she just goes, no. I was like, Willow was, Stokely was ready to fight for his client's right. I love that. Although, like, man, Willow versus Adam Copeland? Willow mops the floor with Cope. Book it, brother. The blackout hint at Julia. They try to trick us. Yeah, I think that I agree with that. I think it could be a trick there. Definitely could be a trick. Oh, buddy. You know, I'm not getting destroyed in that comment section as much as I thought I would. Shout out to the people for being nicer than I thought they would. That was some funny stuff, man. Stokely is a great guy. The best thing AEW's done recently one of the best things AEW's done recently is decided to bring Stokely back on the main roster on AEW television, because he's great. His timing is great. He is a great mouthpiece, and yeah, love it. Stokely couldn't help himself. Thicker than a Snickers. One of the best lines anyone's ever put out. Danhausen just tweeted a gif of Roddy Piper smiling. Oh my God, CM Punk. Okay, I'm just gonna. CM Punk has officially responded, everyone, to this segment. And here it is. CM Punk on his IG page, or on his IG story, just posted a picture of George Bush, the mission accomplished picture. That is CM Punk's official response, I'm assuming, to this news. Oh, man, this is just... Bruh. What are we doing? This is so childish. But that's kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's kind of funny. Yeah, man. Oh my God, people are making memes out of this. This is wild. This is a wild time. I love how we've gone through the motions of this. People were like, "Oh, can't wait to see what happens." Then people were like, "Oh, this is so disappointing." Now people are coming back up and like, "Oh yeah, let's just make memes of it." Meme the hell out of this. Meme the hell out of this while you still can, before people start to get like copyrighted. Which, oh man, I'm sure is gonna happen, because Ariel Helwani, I think, says that he got it. I had to delete the AEW footage since they're sending out copyright. That's crazy, bro. Why are they sending? That's crazy. You know what? I think you know what? There is one image that speaks for me in this moment. And I think all of us, if we're being honest. No matter what side you're on, we can all agree with Chris Hero right now. His face, just what the hell, bro? Like, come on. like Chris Hero is such a vibe. It's unbelievable. Like, what a vibe. This is exactly how everyone feels. Oh God, who said this? Someone on Twitter said he put the "oh no" in Cassius "oh no." Oh, that's amazing. For those of you who don't know, Cassius Ono was Chris Hero's name in WWE. Oh, buddy. Anyway, again, overall fun night. We also got Okada defending his Continental Championship. But what really happened, and the noteworthy moment really happened after the match, when Pac came out to confront Kazuchika Okada. And, well, things didn't exactly go according to plan there, because this happened after the segment with the footage, I should note, where Okada, is confronting Pac, and then, we get the Young Bucks coming out to interfere and beating down the bastard Pac. And then we get FTR coming down because they're doing their whole thing where they're feuding with the Young Bucks, and they're helping Pac. And then, the Young Bucks and Okada just get the upper hand. Young Bucks then take a steel chair. Sorry, Okada, I should say, takes a steel chair, beats down Pac, and hits him in the head. We get an unprotected chair shot on Pac, which is not, I don't love to see. I would hope that, it was a gimmick chair. And even then, I think, I'm not, again, I know that AEW likes to flirt with it, and I hope that it's done in a way where it's not, where it's safe, but, you're still, I think, hitting someone in the head. But again, not gonna. Who am I to be that person there? All right, I don't know, But yeah, we got an unprotected chair shot to Pac to help build up this feud between himself and Okada. They will face off at the pay-per-view. Definitely a banger match that we can't wait for. Beretta, Statlander, and Willow, the evil best friends. Can we add Danhausen? That yes, very, very best, very evil, very friendly, very evil. That would be amazing. Even Eddie's trying to walk out on a non-break character. That was hilarious. Sometimes AEW does this thing where they just like do things to pop the boys. It's pretty funny. IMO. By the boys, I mean like the people watching the show. Like you can just hear like Excalibur and Taz just like losing their minds laughing. This is hilarious. So Drainmaker in the chat noted that Jack Perry will be wrestling in Chicago, Illinois. And Drainmaker on Twitter literally just tweeted this: Jack Perry in Chicago on Friday. He's going to be wrestling at the New Japan show. That's funny. That's really funny, actually. Guys, we're heading down the home stretch here. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And again, guys, you want to guarantee your question or statement is answered on the air, be sure to leave a super chat. And also, be sure, if you want access to exclusive content, be sure to check out the link that is pinned in the chat. That is a link to the Patreon of this channel. Become a member on Patreon for early and exclusive access to content, including hours of live streams, hours of watch-alongs, as well as some, unlisted content that is never going back up on the channel. Not for bad reasons, but like literally because it's in the archives now. We're locking it up in the Real Take vault. Throwing away the key. Out of here. Oh, buddy. Come on. All right, we got last few questions here. Fresh News 24/7 says, next AEW star goes to WWE. I don't know about next because I'm not sure about specific contract situations and statuses. I think in AEW, a lot of those are kept a little more hush-hush. Here, I'll go to like Fightful.com. Fightful.com, by the way, has a resource about contracts. So I highly recommend you guys go check that out. Like their resource is probably the most accurate of anyone online. Actually, yeah, probably definitely the most accurate of anyone online when it comes to contracts, because Sean Ross Sapp, I should say, is really good at that kind of stuff. Let me see what AEW contracts are coming up according to Fightful. So we have Matt Hardy, who's already left the company. Shane Taylor's contract is up. Bryan Danielson, although I couldn't see him going anywhere. Dustin Rhodes' contract is up in September. I could totally see Dustin leaving to go to WWE. That's definitely a guy I could see. I'm not sure. It doesn't say anything about Ricky Starks, but I think the big one to go, that whenever his contract is up, I don't know if it's in 2024, but whenever his contract is up, I think Ricky Starks, I could totally see him going. And he would make a lot of sense to go to WWE, and I think he would be a lot bigger in WWE for sure. It just, and the reason for that is like it just has not, it's been start and stop with him a lot, and I think he just needs to, fresh vision, fresh start, fresh place, fresh Ricky. Anna Jay versus Mariah May. Mariah May, friend, is interesting. I think Anna is getting better and better. Definitely. Do you see Anna Jay will feud with Mariah's friend at Stardom, Japan, with Jack Perry? Maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, I know Jack Perry will probably come back to AEW at some point. I mean, he'll definitely come back. They're referencing him a little too much there with the whole scapegoat stuff. So I could see him coming back. Oh, man. Guys, last few minutes here, and then I got to hop. By the way, Eid Mubarak to everyone out there. Eid Mubarak to everyone celebrating. Shout out to all of you, my Muslim brothers and sisters. Appreciate all of you out there. If you don't celebrate, still Eid Mubarak. But yeah, just wanted to say that. That was not meant to be as awkward as it was. Yeah, man. Winner of the Punk Perry feud. Drew McIntyre, probably. Even O'Shea Jackson saying AEW tag team titles better than the WWE tag team titles. It's time to get rid of those damn silver dollar belts. So true. Guys, I think we're pretty much wrapped up here. Appreciate all of you for sticking around. Go check out the video I just posted about breaking down the CM Punk Jack Perry altercation. Hopefully it doesn't get taken down. I really hope it doesn't. Yeah, I really hope it doesn't. Anyway, guys, be sure to smash that like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and always keep it real. Thank you, Charles. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time.